Welcome to Stirred Up. I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
Welcome to our podcast where business meets happy hour and we're serving up brand insights with bar rail banter.
We're two Midwest corporate pros who love dissecting popular brands, not just for their marketing genius or business moves,
but for their corporate integrity. Together, Jess and I dig into sustainability, leadership, and how brands are actually impacting the world we live in.
All while keeping it fun, relatable, and let's be honest, fueled by some Fireball too.
Woohoo! So whether we're clinking glasses to the brands who are doing it right,
or closing the book on the one that missed the mark,
we'll bring you the real, unfiltered takes on what the brands are doing that are shaping our world and the lives we live daily.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get this shit stirred up.
Welcome
to Stirred Up.
I'm going right to Fireball today.
Me too.
Cheers. Chug-a-lug-lug, bitch.
I don't chug.
I do. I've been thinking a lot about sort of our why, our purpose, but also like our intro, like stirring things up, whether it be our topics or our opinions or whatever we're going to do. So I know there are people in our lives that love us, but for some reason don't tune in every week. And that's okay.
Is it?
We know who we are. We know who they are. And that's what matters. But I thought we could start a segment that's called Fuck with People We Love.
Okay.
And it only works if they don't listen, because otherwise
they would know.
They would know.
Yeah.
In the Smith family, I could probably spend an entire year, one episode, record for 52 weeks and still have 52 more stories of really fucked up pranks the family has done.
Yeah.
Whether it's me being deaf because of the blowhorn, which was more of an aggressive prank, to putting cream cheese in Mike's mom's deodorant, to like having her come through the front door and like using Benna as a decoy as a toddler and dumping flour on her. Like they're constantly fucking with people. You'll either know, we know who listens, but also, actually we don't know like from the person.
We don't know. But just conversation. By conversations, we figure it out.
But Fuck with People We Love segment. And so what that will entail is, like, Mike Smith didn't know he wore a woman's coat for almost 2 months because he decided he wasn't going to tune in. So we're going to fuck with people that we love. And we're going to start with Mike Smith today. And I hit a lot of things with my Suburban, like generally something like every 2 months, if not more. And right now I've hit something where the sensor's off. So now it doesn't even beep when I'm going to hit something, so I really have to dial in and watch my camera. So I thought about telling him, and I also don't lie, which you know. So I thought about telling him, not only did I hit your chicken coop, because I have a hitch on my truck right now, trying to back in the trailer with our kayaks for Saturday, but that you're in the shower, and I want to lie to you and tell you that like I blacked out versus like not pay attention, and I want to see what Mike says.
Like he's gonna help you come up with a story to tell me because I was not ready.
We'll see.
Okay. Can I also I'm here for this. Can I also just like tell you my pranks stress me out?
What?
But I'm here to grow. So okay, I have to be quiet.
You have to be very quiet.
Oh God, I'm already stressed about being quiet.
I know, you literally don't know how. At his work, it's only 4:15, not 5:15, so this could be a hit or miss. Hey, baby.
What's up, babe?
I got a problem.
What's up?
I rolled the Suburban. I was trying to use the hitch with the trailer with the kayaks on it while Jess was in the shower before we recorded to get the kayaks down to the river for production on Saturday, and I fucking ran over her chicken coop and fucking killed one of her hens. What do I do?
Well, you have to tell her.
I'm not telling her.
You have to tell her.
I need you to come here. Do you hear them? Everyone's going nuts.
Where is she at?
In the shower. I want to tell her I like passed out or something versus didn't do it right. She loves them fucking chickens.
Well, you have to tell her, baby. That's not cool to not tell her. You made a mistake. You didn't do it on purpose. What were you trying to do?
There was a trailer with the kayaks on it for our canoe trip on Saturday, and she said, just, do you know how to back it up? I was like, yeah, I can fucking back it up. And then I didn't see, and I just ran into the chickens.
Did you do damage to the coop?
Yes.
Okay, well, we need to pay to have it fixed. And Get her a new chicken, baby.
A new chicken. A new chicken. Oh my god.
You should, baby doll, I love you, but you don't back things up. I know you think you can, but you can't. You should never back. You can't drive your truck as it is, baby. I love you, and I'm saying that in the most sweet, sincere way, but backing shit up is tough. It's terrible. I hate doing it with the jet skis.
Oh my god, Maddie's coming home.
You just have to tell him that, and I was trying to do it, and I didn't mean to do it. Mike's already said we'll pay for whatever we have to pay for. I just let him know, and
Maybe he'll want to lie to her too. Oh, he's fucking done. Oh my god.
why wouldn't you just let Matt do it?
Because he was trying to get the kit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, we're trying to get the GoPro set up and all the things. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna lie to her. I'm gonna say, hey Jess, I had a long day and I just fucking blacked out. I don't know. I mean, that wouldn't be completely dishonest. I did have a long day. You know what I mean?
But that sounds weird. I mean, just say, hey, I made a mistake. I didn't see it, and I backed into it.
Okay. Yeah.
Guess what, Mike? Good thing I'm really good at backing up the truck.
It's our fuck with people segment. Who don't listen to our show.
That's a really fucking rude thing to do.
It was Heather's idea, not mine. Don't be mad at me.
I hope you know how honest I am, Jess.
I know, lots of good kudos right there.
Lie to that bitch.
Well, I can tell you.
What, baby?
First of all, I was annoyed that I was going to have to come out there. Second of all, so I'm not really that mad now.
Not interrupting his fucking day.
No, I have a million things I'm trying to do with work, stuff that I need to get done. Like, and now that just made my, like, you just totally deviated my thought process where I was, like, cranking.
Cranky. That's what he calls it.
He was in flow.
He was in his fucking flow.
Okay, sorry for disrupting your flow.
I'm so fucking mad at you. I know I'm on speakerphone. I don't know if I'm being recorded. And I don't want to, if I decide to fucking kill you, I don't want to have evidence of it.
My sister already wants to kill me. She tells the kids they're going to fucking Europe, never come back. We love you.
All right, love you too.
Also, last thing. This is supposed to be. This is the next segment. What is the most redneck thing you've ever done and or seen?
Well, I can send you a picture of my family when we.
I got one too.
Enough said. Get back to work, Daddy. What is the most redneck thing you've ever seen or done?
So I have a lot of,
Or like redneck
I know this one
traditions, family traditions.
traditions?
Like you know a redneck when you see what? So you've seen it, you've done it, or when you see it.
It's largely spending a lot of time with my father.
That's a fact.
Right now, he's got some like high class redneck shit going on.
Like what? What does that mean?
He's got
White cash with trash is what we white
trash
with cash is what we call it.
He's got a snowmobile motor in his golf cart, for example.
Yeah.
So when you start that up and you hit the throttle, instead of going and like riding along, you go run, and it goes fast, which is like fucking.
Where's it going it to the alibi?
No, just like in the yard. I don't know. It goes down the road, but like it's not even where you go. It's just the fact that you have it.
Oh,
Can I give you one of my favorite? Generally, like redneck. I feel like this is at least a Pat Owens story. Whether or not it's a redneck story, we can judge it that way. But I feel pretty
we listen
legendary.
and we don't judge.
Yeah, I feel legendary. Like again, like a lot of my stories just make me look good.
World's famous chocolate chip cookies over here, this bitch.
Whatever. Like it is what it is. I own it. So this is one of my favorite stories. It was Father's Day, like 2017. There was a flood, but it was before the 2020 flood, so I think it was 2017. When it flooded, we went over to my dad's house to watch the river rise. And
100%.
We had a cookout.
We got a canoe when this shit flooded for real.
Oh, that's where that picnic table came from.
That shit was floating down the river and you picked it out.
Landed in our yard.
Perfect.
Whatever.
Thank you, Mother Nature.
So similar kind of situation here, though. So Water was rising. He's on the high side of the river, so we thought we were good. Literally, all of a sudden, water starts coming from the other side of his house because it's cutting through neighbors, right? So now things are kind of getting a little bit serious, and my dad had just built this. It's the big barn with living quarters, like barndominium, but not so fancy, just like a barn with a bedroom kind of thing in the kitchen. He gets the backhoe out, and he has sand because he was going to do his, driveway or whatever. So he's already got a pile of sand. He gets the backhoe out, and so he decides he's going to scoop all the sand and like build it up against the garage doors. But the backhoe also doesn't have brakes. So a little bit of alcohol, no brakes, water, and he still to this day has like the garage door is scraped, like a complete hole in it, not all the way through, but like the insulation is showing in the garage door because he ran the backhoe into the garage door. A couple of days later, it was Father's Day. We go over there for Father's Day, and he goes, guess what? In the flood, because he had a Sea-Doo in the Chippewa River on a lift.
As we do.
Guess what? The Sea-Doo floated away. Bummer. Like what he had it tied off, but it rose so much we didn't expect. And he goes, oh, what a loss. And I was like, that's bullshit. You loved that. So what did I do? I went on Facebook and I said, hey, if anybody on Chippewa River has seen the Sea-Doo, it looks like this, and this, and like whatever. Somebody that we know is what are they called? Dispatcher, like a 911 operator. Yeah. And she's like, actually, someone did call the police and said like they got it tied up, but like they reported it, which is low-key incredible, honestly. And again, we're sitting over there, everybody's been drinking all day, and they're like, oh my God, we gotta go get it. So she gives me the address, and people pile into a vehicle. My brother's the only sober one.
As he is.
Yeah. And they bring this goddamn Sea-Doo home.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, I was so impressed. Like, I felt most legendary.
All right. I got 10 for you.
Okay.
Boom, 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 boom. Top 10. Top 5. Top 6. Who knows? We had a satellite dish, a big one, like the ones you used to see in people's backyard that looked like something like the size
That's
of like
not redneck. That's just old.
Just wait. The size of this table that we never had cable. Never had cable.
Correct.
We didn't have cable till I got 19.
I mean, I was fighting for internet just 3 years ago.
Correct. So we used it and we plugged it and we used it as a swimming pool.
Okay, that's fucking redneck. Okay.
I watched.
Also resourceful.
I watched someone's saw deer legs off on a table saw.
Again, resourceful.
Stinky.
And messy.
And gross. Traumatizing. Pretty fucked up. My sister also worked at a slaughterhouse. My sister,
Okay.
I don't know if she shot him or hung him or what, but she certainly cut him up and sold him all through college.
Good money. Reliable. Recession proof.
That's right. My dad caught his truck on fire and our house boiling maple syrup.
Okay.
Hold on, I guess first. We were taking a pig trailer down M20 and it came off the hitch and my dad was driving with his fucking dumb buddy. Dummy one, we called him Dumb and Dumber. And my dad was driving, he looked out his left window and the trailer was passing him. Like the movies. Anytime you see somebody generally driving in a jacked up Dodge who's pissing on a Chevy or a Ford pissing on a Chevy or whatever.
100%.
If you can't dodge it, ram it. Them fuckers are rednecks. And I think the most other redneck thing that I have seen in my life is anything that you hook up with a rope to an ATV and pull your kids around in sleds with.
Sure. What did you use? A hood of a car?
My dad used to take us,
that satellite would be perfect for that.
My dad used to take us, we had a quarter of a mile long. 3/10 of a mile. So a little over, or whatever. I don't know the math.
Again, also redneck to know how long your driveway is
Our
by the 10th of a mile.
fucking driveway was long. Way across the river.
Ours is a quarter of a mile.
Longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yours is that house that we went that is longer.
So he used to take it and he used to tie us underneath the engine or the pipes of the Chevy. And he would pull us fast, like maybe 15, 25 miles an hour with the neighbor kids. And then he would slam on the brakes and we'd have to duck and we'd blow underneath the truck 100 miles an hour.
Would you do that with your kids?
Fucking no way! But he took my kids around on a metal sled. So then we got fancy. Then we got white trash with a little bit of cash, and we got some side by sides.
Oh yeah.
And then we put a rope to the side by side, and he got a metal fucking sled from the Clara Amish sale.
Yeah.
And the kids drove it, but when he slammed on the brakes, they went over things. Their face would jam on the metal pole. But I didn't watch that. So that's that's the rednecks for the week. The last thing I want to talk to you about is we kind of really hammered the Magda people real hard last episode, which is fine. Like, fuck you guys. But like,
I'm going to go hard on the libs today.
We're going to go hard on the libs today because we went downtown last week when we went to, and I love downtown Midland, and I actually brag about downtown Midland. I love the businesses down there. I think the food is great. I think the community, I love you all, love your show.
Yeah.
Literally. The pets come.
Couldn't be
wonderful.
happier.
Couldn't be happier. And now it's getting expanded with the farmers market. And like, I'm just really proud of not only Midland businesses and folks with a little money in their pocket, but like the small businesses that are thriving. The community.
Purposeful, doing all the right things. Yeah, totally agree.
Last week, I didn't know this. They had some sort of like Magda protest or something, or Trump protest.
It's funny you call it Magda. There's no D. MAGA. Make America Great.
It makes me feel like Magda from... he looks like the lady from Something About Mary, where she lifts up the couch and she's got that skin that's sagging. So I just call them all.
Okay, Magda's fine.
That's why
fine.
I told you that.
I just wanted to be.
That's why I wear wrinkle cream. I don't want to look like that bitch someday. Tan and then bokeh.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So that's why I call it that.
Okay, fair.
On purpose.
Okay, well,
not really on purpose. Pom-pom.
Yeah, but we didn't know that, so I just kind of thought you didn't know. So I just wanted to air that one out.
So apparently they had some sort of protest downtown for whether it was Trump or Magda.
No, Heather, last Saturday, 11 million people across the country protested.
Okay, well, downtown there were a bunch of stinkies with dirty knuckles.
And Marcy, our friend Marcy, was one of the 1,500 people who protested.
Well, she
in
ain't
Midland.
stinky and she ain't got dirty knuckles. She
Okay,
might be a pirate, but
tell me about.
So we go down there. We go down there, and so I went down there twice in one day, which is we don't do that. We go down there once every 6 months, and then you know what I mean. Unless we're going to witchcraft, as we do. Shout out to witchcraft. And we went to, it was busy, and we went to,
I did think they had record crowds. I had seen some things, that it was just like a lot of business going on down there. I don't think it was related to protests though, but maybe it was. Maybe just like people were already out. So they were like, let's go party.
Listen.
Tell me, like, what's the complaint? I don't understand the problem. Other than people that were smelly?
They look strange. You fuckers look like
Heather,
you came out of the river.
Have you ever seen yourself walking like a homeless person through Marshalls?
They stunk.
Okay, well, okay.
And their knuckles were dirty, and they were like all clung together like little weird emos who came out in the sun for the first time in 20 fucking years. And I've had depression. I've been to the fucking partial, you know? I'm not actually judging your introvertedness. Like, you came downtown and maybe you spent $1. I don't know.
Okay,
like,
so
you fuckers are weird. You're the reason that liberals get a bad name. So we go down there, and I didn't judge at all. I felt like it was a weird vibe. Like, I remember going to the restaurant with my brother and sister-in-law and going to Molasses and having, you know, a semi-good experience with great food. So that balances anything out if you're eating well. And then we like exchanged gifts in front of the Age, which was cute. And like, we don't really belong down there. I don't need it to be uppity. I just need it to be like less weasels than, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody can be itchy down there. Like, not everybody can go to the Goodwill and get bed bugs like me. There can't be more.
Oh my God, Heather. This is such a hot take.
There's too many of them in one place. Too much.
So is that what you think, like, all the hardcore liberals are like?
I don't know, but
that's
you guys
what J.D. Vance thinks, I think.
You only wear tan, army green.
I don't think you should say you only wear.
You.
The people you're talking about.
I don't know what they are.
Maybe they were dressing like that for a reason for the day.
Jessica.
I don't know.
Their knuckles were gross. They kind of stunk. They looked like kind of mean. They even looked mean.
All right.
They didn't even look. Here's my biggest bitch. Hot take. Not what they looked like or they smelled like. That's the comedy in it. Like, right? That's one day but they didn't even look like they would let somebody cross the street in their Tesla. You know what I mean? And they're judging everybody around them like, you fucking weirdos.
Were they for sure protesting, or are they just like,
they were protesting.
Okay, so then yeah, of course they're protesting. They should look fierce.
They did not look fierce.
Have you ever gone down and like picketed in a protest?
You know what fierce is?
Yeah, I'm fucking fierce. When someone tells me that they're a pit bull and I'm a golden retriever, I'm fierce.
I'm learning that being fierce is really wanting to blow through the fucking traffic light and waiting for people you don't like to cross the street. And I saw a bunch of fucking people who literally have everything to say about everybody fucking else.
Did you watch any of the protests from around the country?
No. I didn't actually know there was a protest. Then I sent my very liberal neighbors downtown, and they're like, everyone's down here is weird. So I didn't notice they were weird at 11 o'clock. That's the point. I thought when we went down there for lunch, the vibe was different.
Oh, sure.
It was weird. It wasn't where downtown meets uptown. Wasn't where Lee Tucky meets the country club. Like, where everyone feels welcome. It felt very like...
Yeah, because it was the stage.
And I'll tell you something. And if the Lee Tucky people, if your father would have been down there, if my father would have been down there, they would have been like, these motherfuckers. It was weird. I didn't realize it was weird, so I moved on with my day. Then I talked to my neighbors who I've been talking to for months about, you've got to go downtown. Like, it's more diverse. And then they went downtown
one time.
It's more diverse. And there's people down there, and it's chill, and you can bring your dog, and it's gorgeous, and it's more small business, and like, it's really where community meets. And they were like, we were down there for 5 minutes, and
I want to hear from
like
I want to hear from the locals who also partook. I know so many of our listeners who are major like downtown presence Midland people, like really hardcore Midland people, and also proud of the protests. I'm really curious.
Maybe it was unpolitical. Maybe it was just the crowd who was down there was unfriendly with dirty knuckles and like
dirty knuckles get me.
It's facts. I have people in my family with dirty knuckles.
So can I tell you what some of it's
like the Crudes came out of their caves.
It's Pride Month, right? So
the Crudes came out of their caves.
I fucking love the Crudes, by the way, but they were nice people. Okay, so no, it's Pride Month. So the protests last week, some of the commentary or like the initial commentary that I saw that I thought was hilarious was that it was a No Kings protest. That was sort of like the brand of the protest across the country. It's the largest protest in American history. A huge deal. Isn't
that funny that nobody cares?
No, literally everybody cares except for, I don't know, the bubble that you were in. I don't know. Like, I consumed it nonstop for a week, like on all platforms. People sending me stuff. Yeah. Like, huge deal.
I don't give a shit.
I care because I think
I'm raising my own people. I don't care. Just like you said, I don't care about immigrants or like whatever you have going on.
Yeah, but
like,
I think it's really...
Bennett or even live or healthy, so like, that's where I'm at.
Oh, I do care deeply. I don't care. I don't have like a political opinion on the immigrant situation. Other than that, I think what's happening is really sad and low-key dangerous. But I think, like we talked last week, California being an occupied state, the fact that, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of like political problems that are going on right now that make our president look like a dictator. He's acting like a dictator. Yeah. So that was what the protest was last Saturday. Mm-hmm. It was timed on Donald Trump's birthday. There happened to be a really embarrassing military parade that, like, the haters of the protest were like, why are you not supportive of the military? And I think if any other president were celebrating the military, they might have, like, as somebody who's done like corporate annual 75 years of styrofoam shit like we've done, you don't just wait for one day that also happens to be like the wannabe dictator's birthday. You do a celebration 250 years of the army for a year.
Are you giving him that much credit to be that smart?
No, his people around him should be smarter. Like, we are
They are smart.
We
So
are
is it intentional?
the United States of America. We are catering to a man baby. The reason that he started to get engaged in the Iran-Israel thing is because
You see Tucker Carlson give to the
yes,
Cruise
and he did a
interview?
phenomenal job. Like,
Tucker Carlson,
major cred, because you know what?
Right.
For the last 4 years, there have been people who are just hated on Democratic leadership for right or wrong reasons, but then they like talk two ways out of their ass. They're like, if Donald Trump had been doing it, they would have praised him, but if Joe Biden were doing it, they hated him. And for once, we finally have people who are like through and through really hardcore, really right wing, not even moderate, conservative people who are like, this is not right. Finally.
How many? What's the approval ratings? What's the approval ratings?
Three biggest speakers: Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens.
But they're not in the government. Doesn't matter.
But they influence.
What?
They influence people.
Yeah, they influenced all of those people to vote for him.
Right. But I think it is a big deal. Like, I think it's a big deal because as soon as the people start to talk about it, they might then influence Congress people to think differently.
People have to be willing enough and modest enough and have enough humility to say, you know what, I fucking was wrong.
Yeah.
That's fundamentally the problem.
That's part of my point.
People don't generally like to say, you know what, I fucked up on that one. That was wrong.
But I feel like in recent history, the MAGA Republicans are like, they support people and not ideas. And all of the sudden, in the past week or two, really the last week, influential people, maybe not the most influential people, to your point, not Congress people have spoken out, but influential people in that community who
they have to speak up or they don't have a backbone.
Yeah, but they haven't done it for years. That's my point.
Well,
and now they're doing it. But I think it's important. Credit Tucker Carlson. He was
I agree.
He's not right about everything. I don't like the way he talks about women.
I got told yesterday. You know what I got told yesterday? God bless him. It's refreshing to see a woman in a dress.
I just threw up in my mouth.
And they shouldn't make leggings bigger than a medium.
Ooh, we're going to talk about leggings today. We're going to talk about leggings today. I really want to know who said that. We'll bleep it out.
I don't know.
Oh.
I thought my son was going to have a basketball game. You know, out of 477 messages, one gets in a day that it had been canceled. So I went over there. So then when I was there, I was like, well, I'm working. And this gentleman sat next to me, and, you know, he thinks he's big as fuck because, you know, he gives $20 to a waitress and expects her to, you know, submiss. He went to leave, and he goes, it's really refreshing to see a woman in a dress. And I was like, thanks, pants hurt my crotch. And he kind of like looked at me, and he goes, I'm sick of spandex, he says. And to his point, or to his, at least, maybe I won't be completely critical of him. He was like, I love women. But all this real tight shit on women, like,
ain't not doing it for him.
Like, ain't doing it for him. So
okay, fair enough.
And then I also listened to him talk about his wife for a long time. So his delivery was ridiculous and belligerent and shut your dick sucker and, you know, it's your fault you didn't invest and pull your money out of the market. His delivery sucked, and I found it to be ignorant and dumb and stupid. But at the same time, I was like, I've seen ruder.
Yeah. Did you catch that episode we did on Comfort? Comfort is a sweatshirt, loungewear, sweatpants company that, as so far as we can see, an ethical, sustainable organization and something is emerging, growing, relatively new company. And we partnered with them to get you 15% off. All you have to do is go to comfort.com/stirreduppod to get 15% off one of the comfiest sweatshirts and sweatpants you can find.
Welcome to Stirred Up.
Welcome to the Real Tea, where we're going to talk about...
Welcome to Lululemon, where you shouldn't wear a legging if you're bigger than an 8.
We are going to talk about Lululemon today, and I'm kind of excited about it.
We're wearing the Lulus.
So, do you own Lululemon?
Yes,
Does
ma'am.
Liv own Lululemon?
Yeah,
Tell me your experience with Lululemon. Where are you at?
Where am I? I don't exercise enough to invest in athleisure beyond my full hustle 3 to 4 days of yoga class, which arguably is
the
3 to 4 days more than anybody else in the world.
And is the point of Lululemon.
It's the point. And it's truly when I only wear them. And back in the day, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I wore them as more comfort wear.
Yeah, of course.
And now I am back in my prime of being 17, that if I am not wearing a bra or underwear, the larger, the better, the more fluffy, the more breathable, or the more That's right.
Hence.
So I'm wearing that shit from Free People in the summer or the Goodwill.
Yeah.
And in the winter, I'm going to wear super big and comfortable. So I truly only, I back in the day, wore Lululemon to be comfortable. I don't wear it to be comfortable anymore.
Because you don't think it's comfortable, or it's just not fashionable.
Not comfortable.
Okay.
I don't like anything that restricting anymore. I'm about the loose fit over here.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be restricting, then it's not gonna be cat sleeve. I'm gonna be looking to pick up. Kidding. Like I'm going to a comedy show with my girlfriends. I'm gonna push trash cans
in your athleisure.
That's right. No, I don't. I think in like 5 years ago, we used to incorporate athleisure as part of our streetwear. Mm-hmm. And that's how I did it. If I was going to wear leggings, I'm either going to wear leggings to run, or I'm going to wear leggings to the club with the jean jacket. Now I'm just like, not doing it.
I got you.
I have a couple pair of Lulus. I like them. I replaced them with Viore.
Specifically, leggings?
Leggings. I've had a couple sweatshirts. They make them in such a soft material, but it's that material where if you get any oil, any rain, any whatever, like it just stains. And it like
notable. I think I have one Lululemon pair of pants, the Align leggings that everybody raves about, and I hate them.
They pill.
Because I run. Okay, well, we'll talk about pilling. Mine don't, because I don't wear them. But
where your thighs chafe together, they generally pill.
They fall down when I'm running.
You're aligned?
Yeah. So a couple of other friends have said that I just should have probably sized down, but I bought them only in the last year, or maybe, about a year ago. So we'll go through like their company's story, but I have a hypothesis as to maybe what happened. And where like
you're out there just running until your pants fall down to your ankles.
Well, I've had a couple of other pairs. So Nike, I had a pair of pants that did that when I first started running.
I don't like Nike
pants. As soon as
Gross.
So here's the thing is
for me.
Nike and Adidas, we just did last week. They're both shoe brands. They don't have expertise in fitness clothing. Of course, I think they developed it, but they didn't. That's not their bread and butter. So I think like
their bread and butter is fitness and sports and the things.
It is, but it's shoes. Like their shoe technology. When we went into Adidas, I was like, it's going to be such a flop of a story of like, I don't know, what is the story? I obviously like, and then
Who do you think has the best workout clothes? Because you run. Like if you're going to go run a marathon, what are you going to wear? On your feet, your tits,
So Nordstrom has a brand called Zella.
I love Zella.
Me too. And Under Armour. I really like Under Armour. Under Armour shirts. I wear Zella leggings like religiously. And then my Under Armour shirt I've had for like 15 years. I seriously still wear it. It fits like
you can't find another fit or another material or another.
Well, all of it's expensive, and
that's how I feel about working now.
So a guy named Chip Wilson was the founder of Lululemon.
Sounds like a movie from the 50s at a drive-in. Chip Wilson.
He was like born in the 70s. For 18 years, he ran a previous company. He started an athletic wear company targeted to like skateboarders and snowboarders, and I think even surfers. So the through line there was, and he was in Vancouver. He had spent time in California, like, you know, that kind of culture. The through line there.
He was an adventurer, that persona?
Yeah. I think he served adventurers more than he was an adventurer himself, to be honest, but he certainly did it, for sure. He did, but it wasn't like the... we know enough about Patagonia to know that like the founder of Patagonia was like, he was a rock climber,
he did the things.
Super passionate, would like even leave for months at a time because he was so passionate about the actual craft. This guy was not. He was a product man through and through, not so much a businessman.
The most important P we said last episode, which I think is Peloton thought that the product was the most important P, and then their fucking product went to shit. So I want to stir it up a little bit with you on that one.
I think that's the commonality of kind of all of this is that like if you are a product person first, or if you're business led and product forward, you're going to possibly make mistakes on the business side. And I actually, where I started to discover the story was listening to interviews of Chip. So I entered this with thinking, as I did my research, Chip was I thought a gross man. I thought that because some of the comments that he made, we're going to get into some of the ways that he ran the business in the late 2013 kind of era. And the things he said publicly, I was just shocked by. At that point, he was, I think...
We're not making leggings for people who are above a 12.
We'll talk about it. I have a different opinion now of listening. I've listened to like a couple of hours of him talk in different interviews.
Really?
I feel a little differently about him, but I want to explain it. Okay, so I think the context is important. He was at the point where he couldn't make the payroll for periods at a time. Like he was having trouble. Decided to sell the brand. He worked, 18-hour days, all the things. Yeah. He had a weird like past life of like he was in the oil industry and stuff. Like he did really random stuff. His past story is interesting, but we don't have enough time to go that deep into it. And he was just like, you know what? I'm going to sell it. He sold it for something a little over $1 million, brand alone, because they were in the hole. So it was $1 million just on the brand. Mm-hmm. That somebody else bought. I don't know. Like, again, I didn't do the research on that. I didn't really care. It was enough to pay off his debts. And then, like, basically after taxes, he had enough to buy his family a house. So he was, like, barely hanging on. He's like, I missed out on a lot of things with my kids. I think he was going through a divorce or, like, things were really rocky with it. You know what I mean? Like, when you're running your own company and it wasn't going well. And he's like, I need to do something different. So family is most important, and I'll be a Starbucks barista. I don't care. So this is like mid-1990s.
He became a Starbucks barista?
That's what he said he was going to do. I don't know if he ever really did it, but that's what he was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. So I do think he did that or something like that.
I think about that all the time. I'm just going to be a bartender.
I think about mowing lawn, but I'm allergic. I've heard him say this so many times. I see things in threes, and I have to listen to it. So if I see things 3 times, and what he saw was like, randomly, he saw that yoga was like, he saw 3 things that said yoga. So he's like, I'm going to go check out a yoga class. He said, I could see these women, this is like 1997, 1998. I could see these women wearing like cotton, like the worst clothes that they could so they're sweating, it's uncomfortable. I can see that it's baggy. It's the worst clothes that they have because fitness also was predominantly a men's market, as everything really was at that time.
The minute I feel like the heat is trapping me, I'm so uncomfortable. I want to die. Mm-hmm. Like it's not even like I'm even working.
And he's like, I have 18 years. I know high quality material. The material that he put into the clothes that he gave, like he sold to the market of snowboarding and all of these other sports. He's like, I know high quality material and I know it would solve their problem. And he didn't do anything with it until the day that he saw in the paper that 60% of women were graduating. I'm sorry, not 60%. Until the day that he saw in the paper that 60% of college graduates were women. Do you remember hearing that statistic before that changed the life of a Costco founder? Mm-hmm. I think he saw it a little earlier, but I think the stat is still true because this is in the 90s, and I think Costco was in the 80s when he saw that, or I guess I don't know.
They're realizing more and more that women are the decision makers, and that doesn't mean
exactly
they have the
what
power.
He said.
It can also mean being a decision maker is a power and a detriment. Is for me.
Chip said the day in the 60s that women got the pill, they were changed. That's what he said. And he has a whole philosophy.
They could fuck without getting pregnant, or what?
It is a power dynamic. And so he sees it as like a cultural power dynamic. They have now choice. Women went to work. They had the
Do
ability
you really
to have
think
credit.
that changed culture when women
He
could
thinks
take
it
the
does.
pill?
He thinks it does. I had not thought about it. I heard it literally today. So the other thing about this
Dead
is,
or alive?
as I was,
Is he dead or alive?
he's alive. He's in his 60s. The teacher wore dance clothes. Like she was a dance outfit so that she's like.
Danskin was the brand I wore in the 90s. DASKAN.
And he didn't call that out specifically, but he just said
He
that,
copied.
He said, well, the problem is
innovated.
that dancers have perfect bodies. And I think he's right, because if you're competitively dancing, you do end like, you don't see a lot of.
You can't help
all
it. You're
shapes.
just out there fucking.
You don't. You don't see a lot of shapes.
Dancers don't get enough credit for being athletes.
Dancers and the dance wear had limitations in their sizes, which is an interesting observation.
Facts.
He's a very technical product person in the makeup of the clothes, and he can
sees
observe.
you see him.
I do. So listen, I very much deeply do. So
You feel seen.
and conflicted. That's why I think the story is
he
interesting.
made comments around.
Yeah,
the same comment that made me yesterday up at the Auburn Hotel.
And I see multiple sides of it, so I want to talk about all of it because I think
Why are we
that's
going to
so
make
interesting.
women look bad for the sake of comfort?
One of the things that he did differently with his first company too was that he could see that you lose money when you sell to retailers. So you invent a product, but you have to pay the next part of the value chain.
He wanted to cut out the channel.
He wanted to be wholesale, and that he was struggled with that with the model.
They always make wholesale sound cheap.
He kept using the word
Versus
wholesale.
smart.
So he was the first true retailer at scale to successfully be with Lululemon. He couldn't successfully do it with the first brand that he started. I don't even remember what it was called. He was the first, like Abercrombie and Fitch did it later. You know what I mean? Like he was the first to be inventor and manufacturer of the product and also retailer. Lululemon was. Nobody else was doing it. And he said it was dumb. The only
So
reason
he sold end to end. He
direct to consumer.
yeah.
He wasn't doing it strategically. He was just doing it logically. He could see that if I had to sell to Dunham's, they would want to make 20%, and then my margins would be squeezed. But I can sell to my directly, and I would make 60%.
What's the difference between common sense and strategy?
Well, I think like he discovered it along the way. If you are using somebody like Dunham's or another outlet, and you're selling to other outlets, then you become economies of scale. You can sell to all of the Dunhams. You don't have to start up your own, because then you have to have staff. Then you have to have stores. He did then end up learning that like it was very difficult and expensive, especially in Vancouver, for him to have a storefront. So for him to introduce his product, he was going to yoga studios. He had a yoga studio by morning.
I remember
and
when they used
retailer
to
by
have
night.
pop-ups.
That's what he was doing.
Lululemon pop-ups.
Yeah.
I remember it. Like that's the same way you and I talk about going on the road. Mm-hmm. Like I remember like if you were at a small yoga studio in Traverse City that was bougie.
And I think he held on to that with
Or in the middle of-
Lululemon
okay.
because he struggled with that deal with his first company. So what is the Lululemon gross margin today on a pair of Align leggings that are over $100, I think now? 110? 109? 60, about 60% gross
My
margin.
guess is going to be 58%.
Yeah.
That's not a commodity. That's a
Luxury. Yes, 100% a luxury premium
Still?
product. Still today.
Who buys it? Because I'm not.
They are.
They got to be on the decline.
So I've been,
Are they
doing
publicly
all the
traded or
research.
are they still privately held? Who owns them?
Publicly traded since I think 2007. So they're publicly traded. Their stock price is
I
almost
think they're turning into
$230.
American Eagle of Abercrombie, and I think that Viore and
I think Fiore's on
Sweaty
fire
Betty
too.
are gonna kill them.
So their stock price is $228 a share. $10 billion revenue annually.
The brand is dying, not the product.
Okay. Well, I don't know, but like
How many pairs do you own?
I own one, but I'm not. Okay,
How many pairs do you own?
I own one pair, and I don't like
How many
them.
pairs does Peyton own?
None, because she doesn't even fit.
How many pairs do I own?
I was going to say a lot more.
How
than
many
one.
pairs is my 13-year-old?
Yeah, but we aren't the market, Heather.
We are the market.
We
can
are not.
afford luxury, but we make trade-offs.
I know. So I don't disagree with you that
And
they
we
might
run and we yoga and we like things that we have to throw in the trash.
You are typically on the bleeding edge of like, things before they're going to happen. So next year or even 6 months, I think we'll look back on this and be like, oh my God, Heather was right. But like literally to this point, Lululemon is a really strong brand. Like,
really?
The kids fucking love it. I do want to talk about controversy. So they had a major controversy. 2013, they had a product failure. It costed them $67 million in sales because they recalled some of their Align leggings. Again, bread and butter.
Because the girls got too curvy.
Because as the yoga girls were doing, they were, downward facing dog, saw that their Lululemon pants
They're showing their buttholes.
That's exactly right.
Showing all their Lulus.
Red
The
flag.
Lulus were outsies.
And what the CEO Chip said on Bloomberg was, not all women are fit for our pants. Like, the fuck?
The fuck?
Okay. I've heard him now in multiple interviews talk about that moment. Even his apology publicly at that time was like, I apologize for the things that I said that affected the business. Was not like, I regret saying that. In hindsight, the way that he says he would take it back if he could. The way that he describes it was like, look, I'm thinking about it from the product perspective. And what was coming out at that time was Spanx.
Was vagina.
No, it was Spanx. Like, Spanx
Butthole
was introducing,
transparency.
like, shapewear was starting to become a thing, and people were buying Lululemon. He's like, I'm spending time in stores. I'm seeing it happen. People are buying Lululemon pants, 2 sizes too small, to shape their bodies.
That's not shapewear. This is athleisure.
And so he's saying that's what he's observing. And
he
then
didn't
when
have
that's
the
happening,
technology to make.
so
He doesn't do that fat people exercise.
that wasn't it.
Big people exercise.
In hindsight, what he's saying is they shouldn't have been buying pants that were 2 sizes too small.
But he didn't have another option. So
Right,
don't buy my brand.
Right. And no, but I don't think that's what he was even saying. Because again, he's a product person through and through. So he's responding as a CEO to, like, I actually think, like, I shouldn't say this. I think he might be like a little bit autistic because this is the way I would say it, right? Like, I've never been diagnosed autism, but now we've seen
You're
a lot
100.
about me.
We don't have to be diagnosed.
We've seen enough about me that, like,
You're
we're
out
probably
here representing
on the spectrum.
for all
so
of your
this is
people.
as a product person too, like, deeply, I can see the way he's thinking about it when he talks about it in interviews. He was like, he wasn't addressing the future problem. He might have said, you know what? We have a new product we can introduce to address what I'm observing people are using my product for, but that's not what they're meant for. That's what he was saying. But what he was really saying is people are using my product for what they aren't meant for, and it's causing a product problem.
Non-spectrum person would have said. Or somebody who's
Anybody,
not
any
fragile.
normal CEO, yeah, anybody, you can say it.
Fragile makes me like, again, like,
Don't even label it.
it also like irritates me that like we have to have like this, like, long story short, he should have said like, my leggings weren't made for fucking people who were fat and wanted to exercise.
That's kind of what it was interpreted, but that's not what he meant. He didn't even mean it. It didn't have anything to do with size.
He didn't mean it. He didn't have a legging that was big enough for a 22 like Lizzo, whose butt crack wouldn't show.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, like, his autistic brain's
True, fair enough too. Because here's the other thing that then he did say, separately of all of that.
my leggings weren't made for you because you're too fat to exercise.
Here's the other way.
That's what people heard.
Listening to him, he's a family man. He's a great husband. Like,
his
he's
kid's
all of
skinny
these
or
things.
fat.
But the things that made him successful, the things that made Chip successful with Lululemon was that he found he went to Japan and acquired the machine that made the flat seam. So Lululemon was the first one that made the flat seam.
So it doesn't like, yeah.
Yes, which is important. He spent $40,000 and bought 4 machines, and like that's how he turned that around.
He spent $40,000 on nothing. Cars are 3 times that much. We're deciding between.
Yeah, but he had like literally
Listen, your
almost, he had
cousins,
almost nothing.
Doesn't matter. We're deciding between cream and black over here.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, I want to. There's a couple of things I want to get there because this is interesting.
Got you.
So the flat seam that he acquired the machines from Japan, the snowboard quality material. So that was a differentiator. That is what made him successful.
He stitches shit like we're gonna go down the hill and get fucked up in it.
The wholesale business model was a differentiator and a profit generator. And then what he said, the lines that he could produce with that flat seam made the women's body look more beautiful.
What women's body?
The women who were wearing his clothes.
As long as you're smaller than a 12.
So no, I really want to emphasize, like, I don't think that he thought about size very much. Also think about the era that he was in, the early 2000s. We're talking about Abercrombie and Fitch, which we can go back to that episode. We're talking about Victoria's Secret.
You're right.
Like,
You're right.
He was successful because of the era that he was in.
He wasn't fucking little boys like the rest of them. He was trying to.
Yeah, he was
he
like
didn't
a
realize
good husband.
but he didn't realize that people bigger than 12 exercised. I think he did have the mentality, right, wrong, or indifferent, of like, these were not made to make you look cute at the club.
Yeah.
But also, these were not necessarily made to make people bigger than 12 feel comfortable exercising.
Yeah. You know what I would actually say? I would say that it's a matter of unconscious bias.
That's right.
Yeah. It is a matter of unconscious bias.
Okay.
That
he
was
didn't
like,
know. He wasn't trying to be a dick. He was just a dick.
Yeah. I've listened to him talk about his values of being like the person that he is. He wants to be a good dad. He wants, like, all of the things that we do talk about. Mm-hmm. I think he was a product of his time. I think he was a little bit misunderstood. And I think he did do things wrong. Like, I think, $67 million of recall and sales lost is warranted. Like, I don't think he should not
If I was a 14, which
punished.
is most of this entire country, I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's how I felt going into this. Like, I really wanted to, like, low-key persecute him. Like, I kind of just thought he was a bad person. But we've looked at bad people. Like, the people he was honestly marketing with or competing against in that era was the Abercrombie and Fitch-esque market. Like,
You get caught up.
I think that was the culture. Like, if we look at how we treated Britney Spears, like, if we really look at how we were as a culture, we can't go back. We just did Adidas, and we just said, like, that was a part of doing business. They had to be in bed with the Nazis. You can't blame them for it 100 years later.
Understood. Yeah,
so,
I see you.
More than 20 years later, we can't go back and say...
For me, that 20 years feels like yesterday. So that's my problem with...
I get that.
That's my problem with empathy.
It. Yeah.
I have empathy for today. I have empathy for yesterday. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I don't have empathy for, like, what happened...
What felt like yesterday, but is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It can be a big difference.
Yeah.
So I listen to him talk a lot. So, but there's still things that he said. He said things... I mentioned one of them that was, like... that he was the first straight man to make things for women, and he could see the women physique. Like, that's a little bit arrogant and a little bit weird. Like, he said it with kindness, and I could imagine, like, my uncle or even my grandpa or, like, somebody that I love, well-meaning.
A man yesterday said to me in not a weird way. Like, I didn't feel like I was going to be raped. I don't think he's dangerous.
I don't think he's dangerous. Like, that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But does not dangerous mean
wrong
or tolerable?
Yeah. Like, I think we think about things differently.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. Unconscious bias.
Okay.
I think he had a big unconscious bias. Couple of lessons, real quick. He started as he started
McChipperson.
As he started to grow, he started to bring in, because he did not see himself as a huge business person. Like, he's talked about this a lot and openly. He's not a huge business person. He's a product person. So he trusted other people to come in. He had investors come in.
Oh, you see the human, not the business.
Yes. Yeah.
I see you. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. In this whole part of the story, for sure. Mm-hmm. He had investors come in and they made investor choices on his behalf. He sold 20 or 39, I think it was 39% of the share. And then he was talked into selling 49% of his ownership. And then he lost control of the company. So also a lesson.
When was this?
The exact dates, I don't know for sure, but it was like late 2000. So like, let's say 2010. Or maybe it was even later than that because the scandal happened in 2013. So I think it happened after 2013.
Oh. What's astonishing to me is he literally said, like, if you're a size 12 or 14, he didn't mean it. Like, he's also very much like you or my husband or like a lot of other people that I love is like black and white. Like, there's no gray for me. He said, if you're a size 12,
he didn't say if you're a size 12. He never meant it as a size thing. Like, that's when he explained it and passed it.
But he said if you're a certain size, like, you shouldn't wear a shit.
I quoted it. I literally quoted it. He goes, some women's bodies just don't actually work for it. It's about rubbing through the thighs. So we're interpreting, and I am interpreting 100%. Like, I got fired up at that time. I posted it on all my things. Like, I was fucking pissed. And I was pissed until I did the research and I listened to him.
And what does he actually mean by that?
And what he said, he's like, I was in the store and I was observing women buying Lululemon clothes because I don't know if like because they were in the shape where Spanx. He's like, people were buying Spanx and they thought that Lululemon could fit like Spanx. It felt similar. So he's like, there wasn't a Kim Kardashian yet, right? Like Spanx was just doing underwear and like under the clothes. There was not a legging that shaped your body.
Skims hadn't happened yet.
Skims had not happened yet for several more years. So I think what he was observing was like a product opportunity that he had not acted on, and he responded very poorly. And that's like the end of his. So it was 2013, and he lost.
But to your point,
everything.
like what he says, and so based on what he said, which I'm judging, and based on what he has or could do, has he done anything to make women like?
He was ousted from his company. Basically, he was moved out.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons, that being one of the first, right? And a number of other things. And people have asked him, are you going to start another company? He's like, no, I just want to be with my family. I have what I need. 2018 was new leadership. So the CEO of Sephora then took over for Lululemon. He's now the CEO of Lululemon. And then I've looked into the company since then. That's where it becomes boring. There's not a lot to comment on. So at a high level, the executive leadership is like well balanced. They have a lot of values. All of the right things. They are actually achieving their sustainability goals. They have full gender pay parity. They're 40-something% diverse ethnically. They are actually providing well-being programs across their supply chain outside of their organization. What that means, I don't know a whole lot about, but the fact that they even comment on it was a lot more than any other clothing maker I've ever heard. Some of the commentary was like post-chip era turned into a focus on DE&I. Then I looked into like what have they done since the 2025 like cancelization of DE&I, and the only thing that I can really say is that they did do some people cuts in the same announcement of the fact that they were quantifying their DE&I, but they're not losing it. So I think they are playing it safe. I don't blame them for that. What their employees say online is corporate culture is really great. It's a little bit clicky. There's a little bit of clickiness, which I don't like. I can only imagine. They will achieve 100% renewable electricity at all of their own facilities. May have already achieved it or very close to it. Their goal was by 2021. So Adidas said that they were going to do that by 2030. And Lululemon has already achieved at their own facilities at least 50% for their suppliers by 2030. So even they're going to influence their suppliers. I think that is novel based on what we've researched. They have goals for reduction of single-use plastic that they've set goals for, they've achieved, and they're setting bigger ones. Zero hazardous chemicals in their clothes. Fresh water usage. I can't find any scandals about how their products are made or like. So So by the book, Lululemon, current,
They're doing the
present
right
day.
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to discuss like how we even got there because I think it's so interesting and worthwhile. But like, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on current day. They're fucking killing it on the stock price. They have an interesting growth strategy that even their critics, like from a financial perspective, they're still kind of killing it. Like on all regards, current day Lululemon is killing it. I will clink to Lululemon. I don't know.
I cannot believe it.
I know. I came full circle because I came in ready to hate on Lululemon.
I cannot clink.
Okay, that's fine.
And I trust
But I want your reasoning.
I love you.
That's not a good reason to hate Lululemon.
I don't hate him.
Okay, to not clink.
You're tired.
You're tired?
Lululemon's tired. The fact that you didn't get the fact that people like, so the fact that he's 20 years behind, that your butthole gets to show, and everyone like.
They fixed the problem. Mm-hmm. Like the aligned pants that I have right now are double lined. That's almost the problem. The fact that there's 2 layers of pants.
I don't know who
like
you
my
are.
butthole
They
definitely
still
doesn't show.
Don't know who you are though.
Okay. I worry that that's my fault on the delivery
and be uncomfortable. Okay.
I worry that it's my fault on the delivery.
You think that Lululemon is the everyday hustle, sweating human brand?
Because we need more wine.
If you're clinking,
you don't have to do what I do.
At some point, I do. I never do what you do. But if you say to me, listen, sis, I get it. I see it. It's product. He didn't do everything right. He's trying.
And also, you said you were going to clink to Shein because you were still going to be willing to buy your daughter some, despite everything that we learned about current state. And
we moved on from that. I grew up from that 7 months ago. She doesn't want to wear that shit either. She wants to wear, I don't even know what my daughter wants to wear.
All right, so you're going to clink?
Yeah.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Did you catch that episode we did on Comfort? Comfort is a sweatshirt, loungewear, sweatpants company that, as so far as we can see, an ethical, sustainable organization and something is emerging, growing, relatively new company. And we partnered with them to get you 15% off. All you have to do is go to comfort.com/stirreduppod to get 15% off one of the comfiest sweatshirts and sweatpants you can find. Thank you for listening to Stirred Up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast apps. Please send it to a friend. Leave a comment. Add a rating. Every little bit helps. We look forward to seeing you next week.